Cheekbones to die for and a dandyish dress sense that made every guy want to be him and girls want to date him. 30 years on, Pop's Prince Charming is back and about to stand and deliver with his first tour in 15 years. Please welcome Adam Ant. Massive welcome to you. It's lovely, lovely to have you on the show. What does it feel like when you see the video, you see all the crowd cheering? It's your first interview for, what, 15 years, talking about your music. Feel good?
Music. It's consistent. I've always sort of shown off. So,
So what sort of things can people expect on the tour?
well, all of the songs that they've heard. I'm just really going to play my repertoire of songs and a few covers and maybe one or two new things from the new album.
And the name of the tour is the Blue Black Hussar Tour. Where'd you get that name from?
Oh, it's a sort of character, as if the character with the stripe has sort of died.
Okay.
And, well, not died, not gone to Moscow and walked back in the snow like they did, you know, in the Napoleonic Wars. And what would he be like 33 years later? And but he's the Terminator. You can't actually kill him. And so it's that guy coming back and the blue black. The album's called Adam Ant. It's the blue black.
That's very complicated.
Yeah.
It's called Adam Ant on tour. It's going to take you off the concert to explain that.
That'd be too easy.
It would be too easy. You don't do
It's
anything
also
by
very
half.
shrewd because it is later
easy.
on. You're not the same person
Yeah,
that
I'm
you
not. I
were
couldn't
back
be.
then.
I'm glad I'm not. I'm glad I'm not trying to be either, because I think that's rather embarrassing. I was a boy then. I'm a man now. Well, I became a man when I delivered my daughter.
How old is she now? 13.
13, yeah.
Will
So
she be in the audience?
Possibly, but she prefers jazz. She plays the saxophone.
Okay.
Your Adam Ant character, how did it come about in the beginning?
Well, my favourite subject at school was art and history,
Right.
and it still is. I love both of those. But really, just Roxy music, bowling, you know, all the glam thing. And before that, growing up listening to my mum's dad's records, you know, Elvis and Gene Vincent, and really I just love those people, and there's always been that constant reference. But you can't go wrong with Elvis. I mean, you can't beat Elvis really, and Sinatra, and then so there's always someone who's done it better than I'll ever do it.
But were you, obviously you grew up listening to all of that music, but then you found your own own image that no one had before or has had since, you know, with all the makeup and...
Well, you go through a period of imitation, I think. You know, trying things out. When you're in a band, you're doing other people's songs, and that's important. And then there's that day where you do a song and it's, all right, I think I've got it, and then you go with it.
How do you feel about people imitating you? Because, you know, it has to be said, the whole Johnny Depp thing in Pirates of the Caribbean, it was at the time. He looks very like
Stolen you.
Rapscallion. No, he's well, Johnny Depp's he acts like a pirate. I am a pirate. You know, I've always been a pirate. And you know, he does a good job. You know, and but you know, when he gets a bit, you know, tired, I think I'd have a crack at that. I'd love to.
Really?
But I don't know. I ain't got time.
What do you feel like being a pop star in those days? Because I was making loads of TV programmes about punk, and that's when we met all those years ago.
You interviewed the Sex Pistols, didn't you?
Yeah,
That was like
and then
Spandau and all that.
Exactly. I did all those films with them, and then you came off the back of that. You were much more romantic. I mean, because punk was so threatening, and you were just much more fun, I think.
Well, by the time people saw it, it was. But I'd had sort of 3 years. We started in like '76, and we were one of the bands that, because the music wasn't punk, it wasn't sort of four chords, and I was writing about different things, and we were very much vilified by the music press because of the type of music and the look. And so we had to go to Europe and play. But I did probably 300 gigs before I went on Top of the Pops, and then bang. So I had a long time
Did you find it really hard to cope with all the pressure? I mean, I heard you on the radio last week talking about, you know, you've been on quite a journey, haven't you? You've been, you know, you've been out of music. When I first met you, you were very keen on painting and everything. And I was really touched when I heard you on the radio, being so honest about your personal struggles. Are you confident that this time round that you've kind of got the strength to cope with it?
Well, that's an important question, because the physical side of things, my hero was Muhammad Ali, and he was a sportsman, so the idea... I've never taken drugs. That's the only reason I can actually do anything, because I think that's a sort of the biggest problem in my business, in entertainment business in general, is that. And that's because there's so much boredom. 2 hours on stage, 22 hours getting in trouble. But I've always liked the work, and the work's its own reward for me. I come from a Romany Scottish background. My granddad is a very big part in me. I had a very strong granddad, Walter Albany Smith, who was a Romany. He was in the Royal Navy, in the submarines in the First World War, and he kept things very simple for me, and I've kept that attitude in my whole life.
And does work help you and keep you strong, do you think?
I think work...
Being busy, keeping your mind active, keeping your body active.
Yeah, I think the problem is that I was sort of pretty much first encouraged to take antidepressants and then more or less forced to take antidepressants. And the thing about that is they're very useful things in an emergency situation, but they don't have the stuff. The GPs just don't have the time to monitor, and they're very serious. These are very serious drugs.
And you've been quoted as well as saying that although antidepressants work for some people, then they're not for everyone. They can be very helpful for some. We were talking earlier about how important it is to have friends to turn to. Would you say that that's something that people should do, maybe first port of call, is talk to people?
Yeah, I think you could alleviate the pressure on doctors, because it's almost like, I've got a problem, I'll go and see a doctor. And they got to deal with physical things primarily, and the whole mental area is something that I think one idea would be... I mean, I've got dogs, and I think why they don't have in not only old people's homes, but in you know, hospitals for mentally, you know, I'd say exhausted people, animals, because I think they are totally, you know, they're an elixir
have pets
for
as
people.
therapy that go and visit people, but...
Yeah, but not enough, you know, and... you know, just exercise. I mean, in these places, there's an art room. One of the places I was in, there was an art room, but the door was locked. I didn't even know it was there.
Yeah, I heard you talking about that.
And you go in and nothing's been touched because they don't want to mess it up.
Okay.
And
Can you feel now, when you feel under pressure, have you got ways of dealing with it? What's the first thing that you would do?
Well, I say no. I mean, I never said no. I never ever said no, because I was committed to a contract. I signed my life away. I signed a contract, and it was for like 10 albums, okay? And that's your whole career right there. And it was like the old school Hollywood contract. So if they said jump, I said how high. Now, having got out of that contract, I got my own record label, and if I don't want to do it, it's not... Sometimes you have to do things you don't want to, but I do things I have to do, and if I don't want to do it, I say no.
I'm so sorry to say that we've run out of time on this. It's your first time on Loose Women, but please come back and have a chat with you. Good luck with your tour. It's Adamant, everyone. OK, that's all we've got time for today. Join us tomorrow. We'll be chatting to James Thornton and Theo Profita. See you at 12:30.
Now, if you've missed a recent lunchtime serving of Loose Women, don't forget you can always catch up at your convenience with ITV Player. That's available online at itv.com/ITV Player. Or, of course, if you have BT Vision or Virgin Media, you'll find the girls on demand. After the news next, it's 60 Minute Makeover.
isme.com